Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have updates regarding the short list. Only earlier today I uploaded a video talking about the favourites, and to be honest, that fact remains. But we have tangible updates from reporters, journalists, publications talking about said short list. Who has fallen? What has happened? We're going to go through that today. Settle in. Thank you to all of you for your continued support and your support on the content via your interactions like likes, comments, and subscriptions. Thank you for that. I really do appreciate it. So thank you for joining me today. We're going to go through an article by Mark Kleinman on the Sky Sports. Often we don't use Sky Sports because they're usually 35 to 40 days late. But I'm having a glass of wine, so cheers. Do drink responsibly. So let's go through this. We're going to react accordingly. Settle in, get comfortable. Maybe pour yourself a drink. Why not? YOLO, ladies and gentlemen. Final whistle for Chelsea bidders as bankers kick out a string of offers. Eliminations, they're dropping, ladies and gentlemen. A number of bidders for the Blues, were informed on Thursday that they would not make it to the final shortlist to take over from Roman Abramovich at Stamford Bridge. Sky News learns. A string of bidders for Chelsea Football Club, including the former US ambassador to the UK, have been eliminated from the £3 billion auction of last season's Champions League winners. Why did we call us the Champions of Europe? You know, that's a nicer ring. Champions of Europe, not last season's Champions League winners. I think so. I think that's got a nicer ring to it. As the hunt intensifies to find Roman Abramovich's successor as owner, Sky News has learnt that a number of bidders, including Woody Johnson, owner of the New York Jets American football team, have been notified their bids for the London club have been unsuccessful. Quickly, Woody Johnson. This is good. A lot of you guys will agree. I don't think anyone wanted Woody Johnson. He is an American owner with some problematic elements of his ownership generally, but also his ownership of the Jets has been largely unsuccessful, and many people were frightened of the idea of him buying and owning Chelsea Football Club. So, the fact how he has been eliminated is a win for all us Chelsea fans. It's not all good. But let's start on that positive. Cheers. Très bien. So he's gone. He's gone. Woody's out of here. I mean, Woody Johnson, that's just too much of a euphemism name anyway. Sources close to several bidders confirmed that they have been told on Thursday by Rain Group, the bank handling the process, that they were not being shortlisted. So Woody is out of there. The Guardian reported that one of the unsuccessful bidders was Saudi Media Group, with the others including to be Muhsin Barak, the Turkish businessman who had previously insisted that he had a 90% chance of buying Chelsea. Start with him. He was only here for the memes, the banter. He sent the bid to the wrong email. The whole thing is a peculiar joke. Him saying he's 90% sure he's buying Chelsea. What? Who is this guy? No one could even confirm his wealth. Now, of course, a big one is the Saudi Media Group. A lot of people online wanted the Saudis because they've seen the spend, basically, for Newcastle United's owners. I don't even think necessarily they'd have the particular... There's a reason why they haven't gone through it, and it's not because of the human rights stuff. It's not because of the controversy. At this point, it's because of the finances and the bids and what's been presented to Rain Group off the back. They're not eliminating people right now due to the controversial background. So the SMG, the Saudi Media Group, as a private company, maybe didn't have the financial backing, as they said. People crunch numbers of, you know, everyone they're affiliated to, the accumulative wealth of trillions of dollars or pounds. Maybe it didn't work out like that. So the Saudi Media Group are out. Some people will be upset by that. I did have my reservations if they got through, what it would mean for Chelsea in the future, like it would mean for Newcastle. Are they going to be swept up later? Is this going to cause further pain? And are we going to have to go through difficulties yet again because we're going through it now? I did have reservations about that. Now it's not a concern. Condolences to people who really did hope that would happen, because I understand when you've got your heart set on something, it can be difficult. But it looks like, well, they are seemingly out as well. Nizar Kinsella did report on that. We can maybe reference that if we move on. And the Turkish businessman was top bants. The rejection of Mr. Johnson's bid would, if confirmed, eliminate one of the apparent early frontrunners to acquire Stamford Bridge. Yeah, so there was a concern, Woody Johnson coming through, because it wasn't just how he screwed up the Jets in recent years, or how they've fallen apart, or how he's, run them completely poorly. I don't know if there was a concept of asset stripping there. I don't want to falsely accuse him if he's not been doing that, but I heard something fleetingly. Regardless, there was real concern for Woody Johnson. So the fact, he would have been a front runner because there would have been money there, basically. But he's out of there. But, like I said, Saudi media didn't get in due to reportedly financial reasons. Maybe there was something behind Woody Johnson's bid that wasn't as stable as perhaps first perceived. Let's read on. Uncertainty surrounded the fate of a number of other prominent bids on Thursday afternoon, including those of Centricus, a London-based asset manager which only disclosed its interest publicly 4 days ago. So Centricus was the 4 season ticket holders that are in work in finances in London that looked like they could have a lot of money to put on the table. I don't know if this is saying categorically they're out, but I think they're probably not through. I remember, I'm just reacting like you guys. Don't take what I say as gospel. This is just a content channel. They only disclosed their interest 4 days ago. Okay, so Nick Candy, the London-based property developer who's recruited a number of prominent financiers to strengthen his offer. Of course, Catalina Kim, and loads of Korean-linked companies, basically. There's uncertainty around him as well. I still think he would. I would have thought he would have got through, but you have people like Dominic Fifield from The Athletic just not thinking he'll get through. So he's kind of one up in the air. You don't know if he's through or not. Athel Partners, another bidder which had announced its offer publicly, is also not expected to make it to the next phase of the process. So that's someone we did talk about as well on Football Therapy, Athel Partners. That one of the ones that came in late that had a big, financial backing, and also had, I think they might have publicly stated plans to rebuild Stamford Bridge and do good Chelsea things like many did. But they're out of there as well, by all accounts. Let's read on. It was unclear whether Rain had formally decided on a final shortlist. But among the leading contenders to buy Chelsea are a consortium or consortia led by Todd Boehly. Is it Boehly or Burley? Burley, maybe? The LA Dodgers part owner, and Sir Martin Broughton, the former Liverpool and former Liverpool and British Airways chairman. So they're 2 different consortiums. It's 2 different consortia led by Burley and, of course, Martin Broughton. So I still think Todd Boehly is probably the favourite to end up with Chelsea because of what the ramifications of the Ricketts going through, and I really think Chelsea will kick up a fuss. So Todd Boehly's got through, and reportedly, Martin Broughton's consortium are as well, and he has the people, the Crystal Palace part owners that would have to sell their Crystal Palace shares. So it's not. It sounds complicated, but it's not. If you've been following the channel recently, you'll be up to date. Okay, here we go. So, a joint bid by the Ricketts family and Ken Griffin. So, Ken Griffin's the dude with the Series P's, the 20 billion. The hedge fund billionaire is also a serious contender, and people close to the consortium expressed optimism that they were overcoming issues raised by historical racist comments by one of the family members, the father. We've spoken about that. Some seriously worrying Islamophobic statements. Not even real bad stuff. The auction for Chelsea have been transformed into most hotly contested and potentially the richest sale of a leading sports franchise in history, with hundreds of parties expressing an interest. in buying a share of the club. Oh, there's 200 people expressed interest to Reign initially, and like 30 bidders, and of course only a few serious bidders who could prove the wealth. We'll talk about the Ricketts in a second. Sky News revealed earlier on Thursday that Stephen Pagliuca, a joint owner of the Boston Celtics basketball team and Atalanta, well, good team in Serie A, the Italian football club, Atalanta, had joined the ranks of those vying to own the Blues. So I don't know if they're saying they joined the Ricketts or someone else. It emerged on Wednesday that Reign had asked bidders to give binding assurances about the future spending on the club and its ground before it's finalised for them to succeed Roman Abramovich. Are you going to spend money on this club? Are you going to redevelop Stamford Bridge? And this was a quote from an insider. Quote, they want guarantees about future capital funding for the club and the stadium and the cash balance sheet so they can be certain they are picking the best future owner for Chelsea. Okay, at least 5 existing owners of US basketball and baseball teams are among the bidders for Chelsea, with consortia involving the LA Dodgers part owner Todd Boehly and the Philadelphia 76ers backer Josh Harris, who I believe is one of the guys that owns part of Crystal Palace, are serious contenders. Look, man, it goes on, this article, it will give you more details. It references, the controversy, the invasion of Ukraine, Roman Abramovich writing off £1.5 billion worth of debt, which has been alluring. There are reports going on saying that the Ricketts are front runners. Now, the Ricketts would have put on a very, very good, what's it called, project. They would have displayed a good project or to Reign Group, and the Reign Group won't be looking at old Islamophobic emails. They'll be looking at, right, what do you do? Well, we do sports stuff. We've got a lot of money, and we've got gargantuan financial backing from this geezer, Griffin, or whatever his name is, just joined us. He's got 20 billion big ones, mate. And we run loads of sports stuff. We're good and we're serious. There is also some speculation, I haven't read into it, that there's some connections between Reign and the Ricketts, which would be red flags. I'm not reporting on that. Allegedly, I saw on Twitter, there'd be red flags all over the gaff. Look, man, it's not just the Islamophobic emails from 2 years ago from the father. There is other stuff regarding racism of other members of the family. There is concerns of how they run their sports team. And there's just, it really doesn't sit right with the fans. It doesn't taste well. There's a collective unity between Chelsea fans that really don't want the Ricketts family in. There will be protests. There will be protests outside Stamford Bridge. We Are the Shed have been talking about it. I think if the optics get that profound, if there is just people outside the club saying, we don't want you, surely it can't be bought. Or they're like, it's just a few fans outside the brand. Once we're in, they'll understand. I mean, surely there can be a difference if there's the Chelsea fans rally. Remember the Super League? That was profound, the amount of fans and how passionate they were outside Stamford Bridge. You'd think seemingly it would be the same with the Ricketts family, against the Ricketts family. And at this point, we don't know if Candy's through, but it does seem like Todd's consortium is maybe best, and I for the reasons I've echoed throughout recent videos of successful sports franchises and no skeletons in his closet and generally against the Super League and that kind of stuff. So keep it locked. I'll keep you updated. Make sure the bell's turned on. Things are moving fast. See you very soon.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living. I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, baby.